electronic devices as we get ready to begin this debate. Okay? Any questions from the candidate about the rules? Okay. Our questions are generated from citizens here in in Bartow County. I live in Gwinnett. Questions will be coming from Gwinnett because I'm going to throw some questions in there myself. We're going to start off with the first question for our candidates for sheriff. And let me get my list of questions here. The first question will be in regards to confiscated drug money. This question is directed to Sheriff Millsap. And the question is, Sheriff, can you explain how confiscated drug money is being spent and what safeguards are in place to prevent a reoccurrence of what happened with Mr. Garman? So we know who Mr. Garman is. I understand confiscated money may be spent for equipment and training. If money is being spent on training, please be specific on the type of training and who received the training as well as how they were selected.
Okay. We have now in place, I guess you would call it a double security. I have Major Kerry Millsap and Captain Mark Mayton, who is the task force commander. They are the ones who check and make sure and double check and sign off on everything as far as any confiscated drug monies that are received by the sheriff's office. We are, unfortunately now, the drug dealers have gotten a lot smarter. They don't carry any cash with them, so we've had a low amount of confiscated money that has been turned in. What happens on a seizure, that seizure is taken into evidence, evidence sheets are signed off on, it is placed in a safety deposit box in the bank. Once that case goes to court and that case is cleared, then the DA's office will issue a clearance and that money is able to be taken and placed into our drug account fund, whether it be federal funds or whether it be state funds. And then we disperse those funds as if we need them for training. Some of those training issues have been K-9 training. We've sent our K-9 officers to training as well as other officers paying for motels and things like that for them to stay in the training. Fortunately, like I said, we don't have that great amount of money coming in, but if we purchase any type of equipment, it could be vehicles, it could be surveillance equipment, it could be things such as that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Knowles, you care to respond to that?
Yes, sir. In reference to training, I understand that those seized funds can be used for training and equipment for the officers. But I've been informed by former members of the task force that some of those funds were used for college courses and maybe even degrees for certain individuals. To me, that's not just training. That seems to be self-gain.
Okay. Sheriff, you can respond to that in 30 seconds.
We've never paid for anybody's personal gain with any type of drug forfeiture money.
I need to point out also, we do have a timer sitting right here. If the candidates do go over their time, you will be notified of the time you have left. Thank you, gentlemen. Second question to our sheriff's candidates here. What is your best solution to help Bartow County curb the growing drug trafficking problem? We will begin with Mr. Knowles.
But it takes a whole community effort. The meth problem across this country has become a major business. Like McDonald's had the 5 billion served, there's more than that have been on meth or use meth or addicted to meth. So you got to take it from multiple facets, just like a business does. It's not just going and locking everybody up. That doesn't handle the solution. The solution is to go after the dealers, the manufacturers, and give support for those folks. One of the best people I ever knew, my brother-in-law, ended up on meth. And it was one of those things where he worked hard, worked many hours a day, and somebody at work gave him something to try, and immediately he was hooked. The best thing that ever happened to him, and he would admit it, is that he got caught but received rehabilitation services and was clean for over 7 years. He recently passed away in an accident. So meth does bad things to good people. It's not all those folks are bad folks. And it takes a community effort, it takes community awareness, the DARE program, community education programs, and of course supporting rehabilitation facilities.
Chair.
We already have in place one of the best things to combat the drug problem here in Bartow County, and that's our Bartow Cartersville Combination Drug Task Force. They are also federally deputized under the FBI Safe Streets Task Force. Our DARE program, we've just expanded it. We now have 4 DARE officers. We are now in the middle schools and the county schools. Education is one of the biggest things to help us, and we need all the help we can get from the general public. We have anonymous tip line. We have things where the public can get involved and remain anonymous. Our biggest thing is that the Drug Task Force, they are, I'm sure if you've been paying attention and reading the paper, there's been numerous arrests, and we do support any type of rehab facility. We have the drug court now through the Superior Court.
Wrap it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have the drug court through Superior Court now that it's one of the biggest helps with the revolving door at the Sheriff's Office.
Speaking of drug courts, and being a former member of the Georgia legislature, and I was happy to see that Governor Deal included in his budget this year, $10 million
Yes, sir, that's correct.
for the drug courts. And I want you, both of you gentlemen, to comment on the aspect of the drug court in regards to rehabilitation for those individuals. It's the right thing to do with the money.
Yes, sir, it is the right thing to do. It is proven in Bartow County to have a success rate. I don't know the exact numbers, but I have a deputy that is permanently assigned to the drug court, George Angel, and he is out here and he is checking on these people and making sure they're doing what they're doing. And Judge Scott Smith is our Superior Court judge, and they do a wonderful job, and it is a successful program.
Mr. Knowles.
And just like I said, I'm a big supporter of the drug court and what it does for those folks and to help them receive rehabilitative services and not just incarceration.
Okay. I'm throwing another one out there from my legislative days and having dealt with this issue here, and it's a very hot topic out there now. House Bill, I think it was 87, immigration bill, E-Verify system. Share with the audience what your plans are to further enforce the E-Verify system in Bartow County as far as making sure illegals are picked up in the right way and processed in the right way.
Am I first?
Yes.
We have that E-Verify in place already. All vendors that come to the Sheriff's Office and anybody who has any contract work with the Sheriff's Office, they do complete the E-Verify. 287G, I believe is what you were talking about.
287G.
Yes, 287G. We looked into that with Immigrations and Customs based on, and there's certain factors that have to be in place before you can qualify for the 287G. And what that is the government comes in and deputizes several of your officers to allow them access to their computer equipment. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Mr. Knowles.
I would definitely be a supporter of 287G and involving those other agencies and working close with them to definitely take the violent offenders and give that information to ICE and those other agencies to make sure that those folks end up where they need to be.
Thank you. I'll paraphrase this question in a different way. I'm a former city councilman and liaison person for the police department in Snellville. Morale is a big factor amongst law enforcement officers, and I support law enforcement officers all the way, 120%, because each day they go out and put their lives on the line to protect our properties and our lives and the way we live. What is the primary measure you would like to take to ensure or to increase morale of the officers on your staff? What are some of the things, Mr. Knowles, if you're elected?
Well, if elected, definitely for promotions and selections, I would use a merit-based system because one of the first contacts I received after announcing my candidacy was from a current deputy who said, I've been here 10 years and I do my job well and I have great evaluations, but I don't ever see myself moving up because I'm not in the group, the clique. What I want to do is for promotions and other selections is have an application process, take that name off the top, give it a number, and bring in outside folks from other agencies to assess those applications and do those interviews and make that recommendation even across the board. It's not who you know, but what you've done and your experience and how good you do your job. And that to me is a morale supporting your employees.
Thank you. Sheriff?
We have a promotion board in place now, and it's not based on your years of service, it's not based on the color of your skin, it's not based on your sex, it's based on if you can do the job. We have a promotion board, and it's made up of staff members, not necessarily, if it's a patrol division, then we will have someone from Civil Division or someone from Investigations Division that doesn't work with this individual every day. The promotion is based upon what you know about the law, what you know about the Sheriff's Office policy, and how you have performed in the past. So we've already got that in place, and it's a big morale booster. People know if you do your job and you keep your nose clean and you do what you're supposed to do, then your chance of promotion is good. We have great morale at the Sheriff's Office right now. I mean, our turnover rate is very, very, very low. That people love to work there. It's a great place to work, and we love it.
Thank you so much for that response. And the next question is going to be followed up in regards to budgets. And we all realize that we're all in a budget crunch now. Even down at the Capitol, the Governor telling us now to prepare for some additional cuts in the agencies. If budget cuts become necessary, where would you make those cuts, beginning with the sheriff first?
We have already been doing that for years. We've tried to cut down on overtime, but as you well know, in law enforcement, it's kind of hard to keep your overtime down. If you have a disaster or you have a major incident that happens, you're going to have to pay overtime. We're saving right now because we went from having a local gas station down on South Tennessee Street, we went to the Wright's Express card, and we're averaging saving anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 a month compared to last year. So that's one savings that we do. I mean, it'll add up over time, but you know, with our take-home car program, we've saved the county numbers of dollars with service. One person driving one vehicle, that vehicle will last 4 to 5, 6 years, depending on if they take care of it. We service them every 5,000 miles. We take care of the cars, and we're finding ways to try to cut corners any way we can.
Thank you. Mr. Knowles.
Well, of course, it's a total assessment of the budget and zero-based budgeting, looking at every line item and see what we can cut. I don't think, personally, the sheriff has cut much. In 2008, the budget was over $19 million. 2012, it's still $19 million. All government agencies should be very fiscally responsible right now in these tough times and look for every penny you can possibly save. Working with the school system, in the last 4 years, have cut out over $50 million out of their budget. And not that I would ever want to furlough days or lay anyone off, not even close. But there's got to be somewhere in each one of those line items that we can shave off to cut that total down.
Thank you. Care to respond?
Yes, sir. The budget was $19 million in 2008. It's still $19 million in 2012. So we've been maintaining a $19 million budget. We haven't been blowing any money.
Thank you. The next question is to the gentlemen here. Are there certain programs or training that you would like to see the Bartow County Sheriff's Department have available? And what do you want why do you want these added? Sorry. And follow-up question to that, how do you propose to fund these programs? Mr. Knowles.
And when you say available, do you mean available as far as employees or available to the community?
To the community.
Well, first of all is to be very open through social media and other venues to give out that information that we would have to help the community help us find what we need to find or find what's being stolen, to find those criminals. But I want to even go further with those community relations and have either monthly or quarterly community meetings in different areas of the community so you can address those concerns straight to me. And we will also show you what we've been doing. Another is I'd like to see a Scared Straight program for our youth. I work in the school system, been the chief of police for the campus police for the last 7 years, and I see those youth that are on that edge, and they're making those bad decisions that they don't realize that it would affect the rest of their life. So if we can show them what it's like to be in a jail, or what it's like to be in the courtroom, or even take them to an emergency room on a Friday and Saturday night, and see what can happen to them when they're out there making those bad choices. Another I'd like to see is called Are You OK? The Sheriff of Floyd County does that. It's an automated phone system that calls folks who are homebound or sheltered or can't get out, and it sends a message back through a computer system to say, hey, somebody needs to go check on that person. So those are the things I'd like to see.
Sheriff?
We have our Bartow County Sheriff's Office website, of course, and we have a Bartow County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. And we've solved numerous crimes just from our Facebook page. Unfortunately, one of the greatest programs in the world is Crime Stoppers. Due to funding and due to lack of support, we had to close our Crime Stoppers down, which was really bad. One of the things that I would like to see us start back again, we had at one time a Citizens Police Academy. And we brought citizens into the Sheriff's Office and we gave them a crash course in what it's like to be a law enforcement officer. We took them through crime scene, we took them through K-9, we took them through anything, burglaries, thefts, drugs. We had drug awareness. We took them to the firing range. We let them shoot our pistols. They even brought their own and shoot theirs. We would like to start that back. As far as where the funding is going to go, that's going to be one of those things, but we'll try to work it out because I think it's a great program.
Yes. How was the funding handled when you had that program?
We didn't have any. We just took it upon ourselves, and we had some officers that volunteered to help, and then it got to be a time-consuming thing, and then it turned into a little overtime, but we're hoping to start it back.
Okay. I failed to allow you to give your 2-minute opening remarks, so I'm going to tack that on to the end so you get 3 minutes, okay? That's okay?
That's fine with me.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to this full page of questions here. These are directed to the sheriff, and then Mr. Knowles, if you want to comment, you may. Sheriff, for many years there's been a question about a generator that has been missing from the evidence room of the Bartow County Sheriff's Office. I'm just posing the question. I understand an internal investigation was started as to the disappearance of this item, and Sheriff Millsap ordered the investigation discontinued. Where's the generator? What is it being used for, and why was the investigation stopped?
Well, first of all, we were aware that the generator was missing. As far as that goes, we feel that the person who was responsible for the theft of the generator was also responsible for the theft of a lot of money, in reference to your first question that you asked me.
Okay.
As far as where the generator is, I would love to know that question myself, but I've been asked this question 4 years ago, and I've given the same answer before. It's one of those things where someone took the generator. Contrary to popular belief, I don't have a deer camp, and that's not where the generator is, so that's what was said before. But I saw no reason to continue the investigation when we couldn't turn up the generator to start with.
Mr. Knowles, you care to respond?
In reference to the generator, I know that it wasn't listed in the National Crime Computer as being missing until after the question was brought up during the last election. But that, again, that's old news, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but from the generator to other items that were confiscated and for departmental use and other things missing from the evidence room, there just seems to be a pattern. And same question I have is, why has there never been a thorough investigation done on why these things are happening?
You get to respond, Sheriff?
No response, sir.
Okay. Thank you. One last question before we go to the closing remarks and make your final pitch to the audience here. Once again, back to the sheriff. Why are there so many majors in the sheriff's office? The website lists 5 or 6 majors in charge of various divisions. Also, I've heard that at least 2 majors have the same last names as the sheriff. One is the sheriff's father. He is not shown as being in charge of a division. What position does Major Carlos Millsap hold? And would this not be considered nepotism?
Also, I've been asked this question before. My father is retired now. He is retired. He is a part-time deputy sheriff. My brother Kerry is a major. Each division has a division commander. There's patrol division, civil division, jail division, investigations division, and the 911 director is also a major. That's how I have my administration broken up into majors. They're division commanders. That's how I did it. As far as the nepotism rule, let me address that like I did 4 years ago. If you want to talk experience, I've got 28 years of experience. My father's got 30 years of experience. My brother's got 27 years of experience. What is that, a little over 80 years experience? And every bit of it has been here serving the citizens of Bartow County. So I don't see that there's anything wrong with having the last name of Millsap.
Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Knowles?
In reference to the number of majors, I would like to see that slim down, because again, it's another budget issue. Not that I would want to send those folks away from having a job, but just to reclass areas, put them under different control. As far as the nepotism, nothing personally against the sheriff's father and his brother. I've known them for years. But if you total their salaries since the sheriff has been in office for the last 12 years, that total is over $2 million.
Well, we're not supposed to work for free, are we?
You care to respond to that, Sheriff? You do get 30 seconds per vote.
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you all so much for your comments in regards to the question. Now, each candidate will get 3 minutes for closing remarks. You tell us a little bit about your experience and why you want to continue to be sheriff and why you want to be sheriff. Beginning with Mr. Knowles.
Well, I'm Dan Knowles. Yes, I am a Republican candidate for sheriff for Bartow County. I moved here when I was 12 years old in 1980, and other than the almost 6 years that the Army took me away, and then my first job was 2 years working with the Augusta City Police Department, other than those 8 years, it's been in Bartow County. I moved back here in '94. I'm a graduate of Cass High School, an honor graduate. I graduated from Georgia Highlands. At that time it was Floyd College with an associate's in criminal justice as an honor graduate. And from Shorter College, now Shorter University, with a bachelor's in management. Again, an honor graduate. I jokingly say I'm the smartest cop you'll ever meet. You're supposed to laugh, that was the cue. But I'm married to Vicki Freeman, my high school sweetheart. Next Monday, we'll be married for 24 years. We have 3 daughters and 2 grandchildren, and of course there's a son-in-law in there too. But I've been the chief of police for the school system now for 7 years. And that experience of the supervision, being responsible for our most precious asset, our children, for those 7 years, I believe it gives me the experience of also stepping up and being the sheriff. People have asked why you want to be sheriff, and I can't actually put my finger on it. I never grew up wanting to be in law enforcement. I did see myself in the military growing up. I do have over 20 years of military experience, and I'm still in the National Guard and was deployed in 2008 to the Middle East. But I can't, there's several reasons to be sheriff. Is it that human endeavor to step up to that next step, that drive of always wanting to move forward? I don't know if it's the Lord speaking through my heart, but something told me to put my hat in the race. If you'd asked me that question 7 months ago, I'd have said you're out of your mind. So there is no direct yes, this is why answer. But that's me in a nutshell. I ask for your prayers, your support, and your vote by July 31st. I say by because early voting's already started. So again, I thank you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Knowles. Chair?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Clark Millsap, and I have been your sheriff now for 12 years. I'm a lifelong resident, lived here all my life, 50 years, that's right, I'm 50. I'm married to Lori. We have 3 sons, David, Zachary, and Logan. I'm a 1980 graduate of Cass High School, a 1984 graduate of University of West Georgia now, with a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice. I've spent 28 years of law enforcement right here in Bartow County serving the citizens of this great county. I think our record at the Sheriff's Office for the past 12 years speaks for itself. I think my experience and my proven leadership is the one thing that keeps us going, is the way we're going. I've surrounded myself with 260 something of the best people I can find. Most of them you see right here sitting with you. I'd go to war with any of them right now, any money that they want to. I love them, they're my family. They bust their tails every day for the citizens of Bartow County. We love this county and we want to see it protected. Please re-elect Sheriff Clark Millsap, and if you've already voted, I hope you voted for me. If you hadn't voted, I hope you vote for me then. God bless you, pray for me, and thank you.
Thank you. Let's give both of these gentlemen a round of applause. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Best of luck to you.